Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as many of you may or may not know, this is the legend, someone I definitely look at as a legend, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself before I do, because I feel like he can give himself way better of an intro. But this is the man where I'll at least tell you what's the first thing I noticed about him years ago that even made me first notice him was his avatar tattoos. Now, this may have nothing to do with the generalized point of this whole meetup, but
it does though.
That is the main reason, and that is the first thing I've ever seen that ever made me even attract to his energy. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen,
Chip Doug. What's up? My name's Chip Doug. Simply kid from Providence that just wants to help create. Just a man of the people. My mission is to just get all the cool kids to come out, rock together, and find a way to kind of create the industry that lacks in Providence and make it feasible, and also make it also try to link it to a fiduciary agent too. And that's what I do. That's the mission. Do anything you see me do, just creating a stage for all the dope people who are trying to get connected or who are already connected to their purpose to share the gifts with the world.
One thing I love to get into with some of the people that I admire in terms of like the creative, artistic, or I'll use the word mediums versus curation, because art comes in so many different forms no matter how you look at it. It doesn't have to come in just music or just art and painting. It can come in many different structures, like variables, metaphorically, etc. And I'll definitely like to bring it all the way back, because when I talk to people, I like to know the true origin of how I even began my inspiration to know this person. I want to know, how did they even get to this point that you grew eventually to a point where you're inspiring people such as myself. So where did this first originate from, you becoming this public figure and this heavy hitter in terms of curating all across the board, whether it be events, whether it be helping people collaborate and put on grand, extremely the Fett alone, let me tell you, the big grand schemes of productions he puts together. But just tell me where it's all started from, even if it's from like baby childhood that far back.
I appreciate, once again, I'm humbled by even all the roses, petals you just threw at me. So
thank you.
I never take anything for granted. I never assume anything. I'm just always in my own head, and I know the goals that I have to reach. So even sometimes reflecting on what I've done, I don't see it in that scale, because I know what I'm about to do, and I don't say that in a cocky fashion. It's just that you have to be moving towards something, especially in this line of work.
Fact.
You feel what I'm saying? So that's all cool, and I love everything I've done. I just also know what conceptually is in my head right now, so there's still another level to get to. I think at a young age, I kind of just had a vision. I remember being in church when they kind of we would have something called the Gong Show, where we would pretty much
almost sounds like Apollo, but I'm gonna assume it's not.
I was raised a Jehovah's Witness, so there's nothing too celebratory because everything has a pagan origin. So we don't celebrate holidays. We don't do a lot of things. But one thing they did have was like a gong show, which was like a church talent show. And I remember there's this I believe her name's Karen White. There's a song called Superwoman, and I like directed a skit for me and my sister to interpret that song. So I was like the husband at the table, and she's singing the song, and they're like acting it all out. I think that's kind of when my penchant for directing started. Fast forward, when I was at URI, shout out Rams, I was doing a lot of things. I was very active, probably too active, because my GPA didn't reflect my intelligence, but that's for another story for another day.
That depends who you ask.
You feel me?
That depends who you ask.
I was missing class for Jerry Springer though. Come on now. So
but think about it. Are you not now on stages doing certain things where it's like Jerry Springer may be something reckless and crazy, but if you're really creative and you really respect every and any place you go, you'll realize that there's lessons in everything.
Definitely.
So it may not be that he wanted to sell the mess on stage, but he may have learned or even understood the grasp of being a person of the center stage to help the production, such as Jerry Springer. So like you could take many different things away from Jerry Springer.
Yeah, definitely. But there was times I should have been in physics class though. so I remember. So I went to URI. I was involved in Euro Salsa, CBSA. Anything that I was able to do, I did it. Intramural basketball, traveled for that. Flag football. I was very active. And then I remember like directing shows for salsa. Even at East Providence High School, I directed the multicultural student show. And I just had like this. I just always kind of like tried to take a lead role, and it was always from the audience's perspective. A lot of people are in their bubble when they perform. It's like, I want them to listen to me.
Yeah.
But performance-wise, they're not having any caveats for the audience member that doesn't know them.
Yeah.
So egotistically, I get it. But like, if you don't flare towards this person that's not looking at you, if you don't, your mom's gonna clap regardless. But you have to go capture that person that doesn't look at you, that's not there for you. And when you get that person,
then you know you got it.
You already know what it is. You feel me?
Yep.
And so, EP it started as far as production. URI it grew. And then I remember when I graduated from URI, as most of you alum know, is when you graduate, the years pass, and either the people that you went, some people made it, some people didn't. Some people start leveling up, becoming paraprofessionals, owners and stuff. Other people, might work like the 9 to 5s, and other people might still be searching.
Yeah.
So I found myself kind of like seeing friends that own stores, seeing friends. In my era, there wasn't like it is now, where everyone knew what they were capable of. There was no social media, so you didn't have this whole influx of brands and everyone's a promoter because they got 10 friends.
Facts.
You feel me? So we have gotten diluted, but I love it all because it's still people carving out their niche.
Facts.
So I remember one of my friends kept coming up to me and he was just like, I imitate voice. He was like, Joe, I got this store. You should check it out. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Yo, I got this store. And I had been in my friend's fashion show. And he directed a fashion show. And he had an element of kind of like acting to it.
Yeah.
But he himself was unpolished. So he was the kind of person that would show up late for practice high and be like, oh, I don't care, I don't give a F, I'm late, y'all are here. So he was his delivery was very rough, and people started complaining. Fast forward, he started missing mad practices, and he asked me to step in, and then I kind of ended up being the director of that show. So just interpolating music, the music drove everything.
Yeah.
Hearing a song, the movement. So if you don't like the music, you like the movement. You don't like the movement, like the clothes. If you don't like the clothes, you like the models. If you don't like anything, thanks for your $10. I did as much as I can.
Yo, talk about it.
So I did that, and then when my friend who gave me the card about this store, I ended up moving away from showcasing mall stores to showcasing my friends with brands. And within that, I choreographed musical performances. So this whole Chip Doug imprint started. It all started as a fashion show with music in it. And then I moved that in 2006. I did my first show under the Chip Douglas imprint, and it featured Chachi. It featured John Holt. It featured I believe it's Case Closed. So you're talking about Niche Nation and Case Closed. You're talking about Calvin Fabian. You're talking about Soki. You're talking about DJ Knock. No, DJ Naughty was the DJ. So I did that, and that was received well. And this was at Gage Hall at Rhode Island College.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, I did another show. Now you got DJ Knockout with his long braids as a DJ.
Yeah.
Then you got Chachi once again. I'm always faithful to those who help pave the way. Then you had Explicit Dance Crew, who I actually was managing at the time.
Wow.
Shout out to Shazine, Cynthia, Eva, and Geraldine. And just directing it and bringing people together and just bringing the amazing people I know, but also showcasing my friends who own stuff. So this was now not the mall store. This was my cousin's store with the L.I.G Gear. This was not now the mall's clothing. This is a design who actually fitted these models and then created. So just a celebration of art and fashion. And once again, heavy on the music, heavy on the my talented friends, all us. And then just literally, progressively, it just shifted to what it is now. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. At one point, I went through a dark time, and I tried to quit everything.
Yeah.
Literally. Oh, yo, I was done.
And so in that time of quitting, what were you going to do in place?
Nothing. I didn't want to sell a shirt. I didn't want to beat Chip Doug. I didn't want to hand pawn or acknowledge nothing. But every time I went out in the public, it was, yo, son, so where's my shirt? Where's my shirt? And at that moment where my energy was, because of what I was going through personally, it's like, I didn't want it. Yeah. And then I remember I stepped out of that isolation, and I linked with a group called the 300 Men. And it was kind of more for a brotherhood. And so we were going to these meetings but after a while I'm like, yo, I love this, but we're just talking. And I ain't never about sitting still and wasting time.
Facts.
So then I was just like, I'll make some shirts, because that's what I do.
Yeah.
And upon going to make those shirts, I sat with my guy, shout out to Jeff at Classic Customs. And he was like, yo, bro, where you been for a year and a half? I missed you. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm over that Chip Doug thing, blah, blah, blah. He was just like, nah.
That ain't gonna work for him.
Yeah, and we talked. And so then I was like, all right, if I was to come back, what should I do? And he was like, you know, there's this wave in Rhode Island where everyone's talking about love. And I was like, well, the anchor represents Rhode Island. And if we surround love anchors. So that's when I released that anchor with a heart around it. And making that shirt.
And I have seen the photo shoots to that, yes.
And making that shirt is what had helped me pour back into myself.
Wow.
And so then after coming out of that darkness, I vowed to myself to never return there. And so that's how this whole, and so now then the shows became more, then I'm around musicians and life just put me amongst people.
Let's take a quick pause. It's crazy you say how all these puzzle pieces are taking places, because unbeknownst to some, but definitely known to many, Chip has made a production also called, if I'm not mistaken, As the Stars Align?
When Stars Align.
When Stars Align.
Yeah.
And so, as you're saying all these puzzle pieces to your life, it literally even speaks to, like, probably even not even realizing to yourself, like, even some of the stuff you've named stuff, like, but then again, a lot of the stuff you do is very intentional and very strategic. But it's like even your life aligns with your work, so it's crazy. That's why I wanted to mention that your life aligns with it so beautifully.
And I'm glad you said that, because humbly, when you're in the know, you know.
Yeah.
And even if it feels like it's a freestyle, it's kind of in your DNA to spew that dopeness out.
Yep.
You feel me?
Talk about it.
Rappers, when they freestyle, a John Hope, a Chachi, you feel me? A Flawless. When they're in their bag, you see their face. Yo, just think about how fast the words come out their mouth.
Fact.
Think about that's a computer. And whether you slighted me or not, if the history is a history, I'm gonna speak the facts of the connection.
Yep.
And this isn't no one slighting me, but it's like real is real. You feel me?
Fact.
So it's like
even their work, the men you just mentioned.
And those are my brothers. All have. I've shared a stage with each and one of them.
Yep.
Flawless was did my first Leaders of the New School as part of the PVD Fest in 2016. You feel what I'm saying? Like so my resume and receipts are there. I like to be in the now.
The receipts.
The receipts are valid.
It talks.
And so what I'm saying is like, so even when stars align, it's like, yes, it's my friends, my human friends who are stars.
Yes.
Because if I work with you, you're already Grammy certified.
Heard you.
You don't need that for validation, but I'm working with you
exactly what you mean. Yeah.
I know your caliber. I rock with quality. You feel what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like my brotherhood, my sisterhood. We're capable, and we're not capable for Rhode Island. We're dope. I realize that these people we pay homage to and we give our money to in Hollywood, in New York, in Miami, within their own settings, there is a sense of locality and homegrown things you got to go through. Because Rhode Island doesn't have an industry, we feel distant from that.
Yep.
So we feel like everything that's happening is because of Rhode Island. No, it's when you come from somewhere, your friends are not supposed to treat you like a celebrity. They're supposed to respect your grind, but you're still that kid from middle school. They're not supposed to bow down to you. So what we're seeking at home, we're not going to get, because that's not how your home's supposed to do it. They can support you, but they're not supposed to bow down to you. Feel me?
Talk about it.
And so like Drake is Aubrey Graham in Toronto for the people he grew up with. Yeah, so when it comes to when the stars align, definitely the people I associate with, I do view them as stars. I do see them as star-studded. I do see them having Grammy-level potential, although a Grammy will not define your level of talent. Yeah. So that's why I align myself with. So, but in Providence, it's kind of like, because we're in our hometown and we don't have an industry, we don't have like a sports, we don't have any multi-million-dollar industry to funnel money into us. There hasn't been a separation of lifestyle.
And it's because we also don't want to band together. It's the freaking problem.
There's still
to some degree.
There still has to be a certain amount of capital pouring into the city for people to receive, to all be millionaires.
You know, it's the crazy thing. Rhode Island used to be known for tourism, and over the years, it declined, and we lost our reputation. Yep.
But
because we had some avenues for the money, but we lost it.
Even with that, it's not connected to the music industry.
True.
Most of our stuff is grant based, which means you have to have an outcome, and so most of these programs are more busier trying to fulfill the outcome than creating a dope piece of music. And then those outcomes graduate in a clause where you can't even work with the kids after a certain age.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just telling you, that's just what Rhode Island is, because we got more law, entertainment, and health hospital. That's where like our strength is. And so it's kind of like there's just no like this.
Was Grant when you mentioned Grant?
You feel me?
You ain't even lying.
So there's no New York got like the New York Knicks. New York got studios. New York got like old money.
Yeah.
And we just aren't big enough to have that. And so that's what I'm saying. So when we get frustrated, we're not even really being honest with what we have, not within ourselves, but as a city and as a state.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And so what I'm saying is, it's kind of like, knowing that, it's kind of like I don't trip off of that hometown, because within every major city's hometown love is a point where you should be celebrated but not worshipped.
Yeah.
So what we're getting frustrated in is what other people in their hometown get frustrated. But we just meet these people in the industry or these people on TV after they've gone through that process that we're fighting.
Facts.
After they've gone through all that, after they clawed out of first their borough. Before they represent New York, you gotta rep your block.
Yeah.
Then your borough.
You got
Then New York's gonna crown you.
Your block,
you fighting with Harlem, you fighting with Bronx, you fighting with Brooklyn before you could get crowned New York, and you still gonna have something like, yeah, but he ain't from here though, he ain't flashy. So it's kind of like, this is what happens, and this is what like the 50 Cents fight through. This is what the Jay-Z comes up. This is what the Nas does. And here we are in Rhode Island acting like, yo, my friends don't support me. Like we are trying to bypass the thing, but at the end of the day, still when Nas pulls up in Queensbridge, those people don't expect him to pay their life. They respect Nasir Jones, the kid who came from there, and they celebrate him, but they don't bow down to him. And then if he chooses to extend his wealth, then they are appreciative.
Yes.
Providence, we don't understand that what we go through is what everybody goes through. And I feel like if we start doing that, the frustration won't mount up. And we won't talk about who doesn't work with each other. And who doesn't. Because no city 100% works with each other.
Facts.
I do feel like we should respect each other.
A lot.
We shouldn't pull apart from each other.
Here,
But at the end of the day, if you decide to make a product, it's on you to sell that product.
And stand by it,
So that's why I don't get caught up in who's not buying my shirts, who doesn't come to my shows. Because if you just see me in public and give me dap or nod your head, that's the connection I need to keep me going. That's what's real. Because I don't know what your life consumes of. I don't know what your free time is. And you might not like it, and that's okay too. So we're just caught up in this thing that we shouldn't get caught up in.
Yeah.
We should just be in our zone and just keep doing us. And so the people I associate myself with that the universe has brought me to are stars, and they are of like mind. And then on another level, yes, it is what you said, the celestial when stars align.
Yeah.
So there is all these meanings, and it isn't by accident. I don't believe in coincidence. Everything's affirmation. So the stars align. Leaders of the new school. Even that market-wise, playing upon the old school's ears because of the Busta Rhymes group, but also putting together a collective of people that are pushing the art forward, and also who are active. Because you could spit, but if you don't have a plan of dropping an album, what are we doing? And I'm not saying you should. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't spit. Keep spitting. Keep doing your freestyles.
Have a plan.
I am forward thinking and creating the industry and giving valuable art that can stand the test of time and have a legacy.
Yeah.
Estro, short for estrogen. Everything is very calculated and planned. But what I said, when you're in the knowing, humbly and by the grace of my creator, I have that gift of vision. So it comes quick, but that doesn't mean it should be taken for granted. You feel what I'm saying? So you're right. So that's where it's transitioned to. So now it's more musical collective, musical showcase, 4 different imprints, and then we all come together for When Stars Align to bring the art, the music, the fashion. But like all these other things were like mini camps. And then here's the league. And then mini camps providing the platform. If you come to Estro, you've seen Bruxana go from literally like performing in a winter coat to the last time wearing a beautiful white dress and being more controlled and more purposeful in her delivery.
Nah, facts. I've definitely seen a lot of people elevate in your shows. Definitely.
And then people, yo man, you use the same people. For one, wasn't it a dope show? Don't you want to see it again? And for two, you need a base in the nucleus, but it might be the same for 3, but then I'm gonna invite 3 other people. Just to because you also need the generation of money. You know who went hard for you. You know who sold tickets, which I do allow people to make money themselves too.
Yeah.
You do know who did promote it. You did know who just took it for granted. And as far as someone who's putting up the money, I have to be aware of that aspect too.
Yeah.
Because it is a business, you feel me?
Facts, and that's entrepreneurial world, man. Y'all don't understand that. A lot of us put our own money down for all of this shit, and none of y'all get that either. This ain't easy work out here.
Somebody was surprised I had a job. They thought I was just an influencer. I said, I guess I'm doing a good job. But no, I definitely work a 9 to 5. I got 2 kids, but that's still a compliment in its own right.
Yeah.
But it also showed you the lack of respect of the process, but obviously that just lets me know they like what they received. So yes, when stars align, the entrepreneurship it shifted from literally like Chip was known. First, I was known as a dancer. A lot of people don't know that.
I was actually gonna ask you, what was your first debut?
I was known as a dancer. I used to dance for Flava Unit. We opened up for Tribe Called Quest at URI. I was known strictly as a dancer, and people said, go to New York, take a class, go do this, go do that. And I just kind of knew the limited scope of dancing. No disrespect, but I've always been kind of like, I'd rather own a dance studio than be a dancer. I didn't want to be that choreographer that gets pushed out by the young blood. I've always tried to cement myself and the legacy to be connected forever. So now, if you really notice, I remember, this is going to be funny to you people, proof positive, there was times when I literally was freestyling. We worked for the College Crusade, and we would do a summer program at URI. I would freestyle. Yeah,
I've noticed you're intertwined with a lot of positive, uplifting, community-based. I love it.
So I was a high school advisor for the College Crusade of Rhode Island, and we did a summer program that came out of, we went to URI and then came back, and literally, kid you not, I would literally freestyle rap from Kingston to Providence, and the students would hold up objects for me to rap about.
Wow.
Not saying
like what you be doing with Trav?
Listen.
That's where that originated from? No. You was doing that?
So listen. So what I'm telling you is, even what I choose not to do now, I kind of have an eye for it, so I can kind of live vicariously through my friends, but knowing that they're the talent.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, it's not a mistake that if you come to a show that I do, there's a level of quality, because it's been so long that I'm investing in it. I just chose not to go that route. Yeah. I couldn't freestyle like I used to right now, but I can't. But I understood the value of it once I met Trav. And people don't know, I met Trav. We started playing basketball together. Who even knows Chip plays ball, right? But like,
I was just gonna say that.
Nah, so Chachi opened up the gym. He worked at the Met, and we played pickup twice a week. And one day I'm leaving the court, and I just hear these kids rapping. And these kids are rapping, and I'm walking. I'm like, that's cool. Then I heard this one kid say something. I turned back and looked, and my bro Miguel goes, he does this all the time. I said, wow. I said, that was a freestyle? He said, yeah. He goes, as in, you just thought that up. And they said, he did this all the time. I said, I know we've been playing ball. I'm like, but my name's Chip Doug. I do shows. You want to do a show?
Yo, it'd be like that, though. It'd be like that.
And then Vega ended up having Trav perform for him. And a lot of times when the beat goes, Trav just snaps and starts freestyling. Yeah. And when he was up there freestyling, because I think something happened with his music. So they were like, just play a beat. I heard what Trav was saying, and I knew he was freestyling. But the audience was just and I'm like, yo, they don't get it. Yeah. So then I literally pointed to somebody. That's hip hop. That's literally. In the moment, I pointed to somebody, and I grabbed his shirt and looked at Trav and pointed to it. And then once they heard him say that, the crowd went bananas. Then I started holding up different things, and then that ended up becoming a routine thing for our shows,
which came out beautiful.
But you feel what I'm saying?
So it's authentic too.
It's all been organically grown, even if it is a caveat now. Yeah. You heard it. URI, Vega booking Trav. Trav asked me to pull up with him. Me being on stage, recognizing that people don't get it. Because, yeah, you like it, but you don't get this man is doing it now. And so I've always been put in those positions where it's kind of like, it's like, what's that thing called? We don't make the products you use, we make the products you use better. Not saying that, but it's more like from the audience perspective. Yeah. Trav is doing something that is alien-like. And y'all don't know because y'all drunk and y'all just bobbing the head. How can we connect it to you and just literally explicitly let you know that this is not pre-recorded? And that's only to keep it in the moment. And then these things are becoming a staple of what I do. But this is how most of my life it's been like a freestyle.
Yeah.
I've known what to do with it, and I'm in a phase now where it's like, I've been giving y'all these mixtapes. Now it's time to drop the album.
Heard you.
And that's why even like when we did the live stream on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like you said, I usually talk that talk on stage. But it's freestyle. Like I don't.
To the point you would think, man.
But it's all it's all freestyle. It's all like in the moment.
Yeah.
I just had this conversation. So my live stream show that we did mid-pandemic was the first time I went there with a concentrated, calculated message, and it was growth in the stillness.
Yeah.
Because I understood what we was all going through when we were asked to be still. But I also understood that those who got it would still find a way to grow.
Absolutely.
And in that stillness is the ultimate growth.
Yeah.
And it was time for us to reflect on ourselves and sit with ourselves and reinterpret ourselves and then come out stronger. Those that did and those that moved forward, even if it was with self, are stronger now. And that was why I chose to deliver that message. And that, as much as you guys have seen me do me, that was my first time establishing my forever. Because I know how to do everything else. I did everything else because I wanted to do it. Like the show still could happen because it's just my connection with my city. Yeah. All this stuff happened, but now it's time for me to put myself on my platform and connect with you guys, because I've used these platforms and these mediums, I love that word, to deliver my message. Because you know, from a distance, I'm the t-shirt guy and the guy that makes shows. But if you come to one of the shows we all do together, it's goosebump level. It's goosebump tingling. You leave there wanting to hug everybody and not leave.
Yo, you're not even lying.
You literally do not. It's not about, excuse my language, it's not about fat asses and sex and misogyny and liquor, blunts and stunts. Nah. It's literally like, yo, this is my city.
Literally community.
You're baptized in the essence of spiritual dopeness. Yeah. And not spiritual in the religious holy than thou sense, but just understanding that you were just sat amongst creators on many different levels who just literally in that moment zoned out and gave you all of their soul. And that's pretty much the environment that is created when you see this logo associated to anything. And that's why I'm not worried about what other people do. There is no competition because I don't view it like that. Everyone should do their thing. You have that first human tinge of, oh damn, no, they're doing it. You do have those moments. If my purpose is to help people create and be in their essence, then I need to celebrate every time something's done, regardless of the similarities, regardless of the inspirations, regardless of imitation or inspiration, you feel me? And that's when you know, that's when I knew I grew. When I just understood the whole, this is what I asked for. And even if someone sat in my audience and said, I like this, I'm gonna do the same exact thing, and even if they change the characters, I can't be mad. Because that's literally what I'm preaching. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. The younger me would have been like, and this one, but no. The 42-year-old me is embracing the answer to my ask.
Heard you.
And that's what we as humans convolute a lot. We ask, we get, we don't understand the form it's going to be delivered to.
How to receive.
And then we sabotage the gift. We think it's going to be roses and berries, but it's not.
Facts.
Every test you get to know that you learned, you have to be retested. So if you ask for patience, you're not just going to be the most patient dude. You need a frustrating challenge to show that you showed patience. Yeah. But the human nature is to go, oh, F my life, God, I asked you for patience, and now you got this thing that's going to test my...
Yeah.
I see what you did.
And once
you get, when you ask for money, a bag of money's not dropping in your lap. You might get tested to have to be more frugal with your money. You might have to go get another job. But once you make that adjustment and take accountability and move differently, then the blessing happens.
Facts.
And then your life tests become pop quizzes. So that's why I know my next phase is to carve this space for me to just not say I know all the answers. Yeah. But share the lessons I'm learning. Yeah. Because I'm in these moments still. I'm still like, oh shoot, you feel me?
Every day.
And we all are. Yeah. And there's no ego involved. So now my next phase, while still doing these other things that I've come to kind of, I think I could say kind of learn to do well.
Yeah.
Now it's time to do the stuff I didn't know to make it a legacy, longevity. To flip when I'm not there. Have the t-shirts on deck at this event without me being present.
Even having to be there, yep.
You feel me? Have the videos posted so you could click and figure me out or figure what we talking about without me there as I'm on my Joe Osteen somewhere else. But at the end of the day, although it will become revenue driven, although I know it's going to be very profitable and profitable. It's still for it to exist when I am no longer physically present. Whether it's my last breath or I'm just in another state. You feel what I'm saying? There's a bigger purpose. It's always been on purpose, but I now have kind of quelled my humanistic ego and desires to focus on my why. And I've always known it, but through the grace of my creator, through the connection with people like yourself, through that audience, once that show starts, I don't care what's in the
talk about.
I don't care what's in the money drawer.
Yes.
Once that show starts, I zone out. I don't even remember who was there. People tell me they said hi to me. I'm like, for real?
Facts.
All I know is I hope you went and talked to Taj and Mo and learned about the fitness sanctuary. All I know is I hope you sat there and even in a buy night and you told that artist their stuff is dope. All I know is that this is that person's first show. And all they had was a sketchbook, and I said you could still get a table. Because that's important.
That's love.
It's my duty.
Facts.
If I have access, it's my duty to provide. Literally. What am I here for?
I'm glad you said that because even talking about like community based and stuff like that, like at least from my personal opinion, I think that's only the tough thing that I found about at least Rhode Island's sake, and it definitely does correlate to other states too in the industry, but it's definitely tough when there's gatekeepers, especially, let alone older ones, but in general, gatekeepers, even if they're hell your same age, like, it's definitely tough when the gatekeepers are trying to keep the doors, like, selectively locked, because it's like, yo, I'm not trying to come through your gate to rampage your gate, I'm trying to come in your gate and help you build another gate while you let me in your gate, like,
you have to,
no bullshit.
You have to keep yourself focused that whatever that higher power that's driving you is, might also be having you. They might be preventing you from linking with people that you're not supposed to.
Yo, facts.
And that's not a negative thing. Because remember, those people.
It's a hidden blessing.
Remember, those people have their ass too.
Yeah.
So that might be your alignment, and that's why that might be a test, and you can't get frustrated. Because I'm gonna tell you one fact. This is facts. As much as I'm received, no one really asked me to do what I'm doing. Every show, everything I put out was me going, I think I want to do this.
Yo, facts.
There was no heavy pouring out. Yo, Chip, we think you're so dope. Can you please come and do your show at FET? This has just been natural progression. I'm not saying I'm not appreciated. I'm not saying that people don't like what I do and understand that that's what I do. But literally, if I today, right now, said I'm never doing another show, show would never be done. They don't do this long, but it starts right here. And then with an email, and then my realness to people, and then reaching out. My show's done once all my texts say yes. Yeah. But what I'm telling you guys is, I'm still self-driven. Even if you guys think I've done things, it's still self-driven, and it still starts with me needing to remind myself of my why. So that person that is acting like a gatekeeper, you might be giving them more professionalism than you think. They might be trying to figure it out themselves, and they might just say, I need to start with this core and build it. And I literally just can't. I think you're so dope that I'm not ready for you. Heard you. We project our own insecurity sometimes on how we're received to others. I do it.
Heard you.
But you're not in a situation where you do know their truths about you. So therefore, you gotta just trust in that, but that's what makes Logic do Logic. That's what makes Logic go and sit there and host something at AS220, which had the same sentiments and the beautiful energy as my FET show. Let's not get tripped off of the numbers. You was up there at the end dancing. Yo, you would just, and this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm like you know I pop out for people. You know I'm in audiences. I don't walk in there and go, there's only this many people, I'm out because I can't get it for the gram. No, I appreciate the process. I appreciate the connectivity. I appreciate those vendors that you gave an opportunity for them to connect.
Yeah, that's all I'm about, that community. I love that energy. Yes, it genuinely fills my heart to give that energy.
And so that's why you do what you do.
Yeah.
And maybe partnering with somebody else would have been more frustrating than you needed in your life. That could have been some of that tip the scale. Because as a boss and a visionary, you also don't want to compromise who you are.
Absolutely not.
So therefore, never, ever, ever take it as a negative thing. And never, ever, and I'm not saying you do, but never, ever feel like it was a result of I wasn't accepted. They're the guy. Because I heard that word gatekeepers. I don't feel like the people are giving the thing of the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
No disrespect. I don't even think they think they're gatekeepers.
Nah, some of them be legit gatekeepers, no bully. Like they be having some certain accesses, and you be like, damn. And even when you find out from your other angles of trying to get to it, that ends up still being the gatekeeper, and you're like, damn.
Your generation also
this is crazy.
Your generation also has a technological capability of taking out the middleman.
Facts.
Which then kicks down the gate.
No, but that's why I do. That's why I do what I still do.
So I'm just saying this to everybody.
I refuse to accept it now.
I'm just saying this to everybody. Yeah. Don't get caught up in that. And even sometimes your post, as humans, a lot of times we only acknowledge the positive things as far as we talk into existence.
Yeah.
Oh God, I want a new car. I got a new car. I talk into existence. But we're not thinking about the times we say FML.
Yeah.
The times we say I can't. The times we say, oh, no one in private supports me. All of that is also the same energy that you're manifesting and setting a wave to create and be your reality because you're accepting it.
Heard you.
So you have to train yourself to not even, and it's hard, but you have to train yourself to not even spew what you don't want to end up happening.
Facts.
Because then that becomes your reality. And then you're looking at you. And you're the only one in front of yourself, but you'll never see it because how can you get a peripheral view when you're looking at yourself like this?
Yeah.
You can't see peripherally. You feel me? And you done made everyone against you, so who's aligning with you? Who's allies? Who's there to say, yo, Logic, take 6 steps back like this is COVID? Nobody!
Yeah, talk about it.
So that's what I'm just saying. Yeah. I get what you're saying, and I still... Like, sometimes you know how Facebook has memories? Mm-hmm. I see what I posted in 2011, I'd be like, oh my God.
Yo, but have you ever seen a throwback post and you're like, damn, that kind of still relates to this time era?
Definitely. But
that should be scary.
But what I can say is, a lot of times when I was in dark places, my poetry reflected that.
Yeah.
And I now understand why it was a whirlwind. And I now understand my power in my post.
Yeah.
So I understand that even if I feel a certain way, I can't really... I post a lot of my thoughts are ratchet in inception, but I post a lesson learned, so I don't sway your life.
Heard you.
Because you might be teetering red, but it might have started with a fuck that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But I had to sit with myself and get to that point. But I'm not going to post a fuck that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm going to post a lesson.
Heard
but
you.
I am also giving you guys what I'm learning.
Heard you.
There's no holier than thou on my social medias.
So what you even saying that is perfectly brought to that. I know many definitely want to know what, at least for those that follow you, what exactly is the tie or the respect of you utilizing the J. Cole song that you've chosen to use? Because I'm very sure it's with significance. So I'm going to allow you to tell the audience what J. Cole song it is. Because many who know you definitely know what it is. So I'm not even going to bother explaining it. But what is the relevance in that song choice? Because it definitely makes a lot of sense with the stuff you post with it. But I always wanted to know, what is your relationship with that song?
So the song is called Love Yours. And he's just telling you that there's no such thing as a life better than yours. It's that daily affirmation to remind you that you matter. And you're here. And you deserve to be happy. We're in a state that our phone has become a portal. You literally scroll to your phone and you choose to travel to wherever you go. Yeah. You see shows like The Black Mirror where they're saying it's going to be like a chip on you, and we go, oh my God, that's so futuristic, but it's a metaphor for what we're doing
actively.
So depending on what rabbit hole you choose to jump in,
yeah,
you're going to be sucked away from who you are, because sometimes you judge not even knowing. So you might say, oh, that's a nice pair of shoes, or I know him for real and he can't afford those shoes.
Yeah.
You don't even mean to do it.
Yeah.
So I've chosen to use social media to align with my purpose If you notice, I don't just put memes.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't put anything secular, really. Like, I put my Chip Douglas logo next to DMX, and now I'm sharing DMX's prayers to show people the level of his words. And also to have people keep in mind that this brother needs our energy. So that was calculated. Like, if there's anniversaries, like so I am very purposeful, and that J. Cole song is just that reminder. And then that happy. Trust me, I don't know where. I don't remember the first time I picked up Cool Dog. My puppet. I don't remember the first time I said happy.
Yeah.
I just remember when people.
That puppet is fucking hilarious.
I just remember when people started telling me how it was being received.
Yeah.
And then you just know that even when you don't want to do it, it's your duty. I remember walking. I went to TV Bank. I left, did whatever I did in the bank, and I'm walking down, and this dude, big dude. Kind of had like a grimace on his face.
Yeah.
He rolls the window down, and I'm like, I don't know what he's gonna say to me, so let me just get my affect right. So just in case, and he goes, Happy Tuesday, Happy Tuesday. He puts the window up, and then he just drives off.
Yo.
But like, just to know that when visually the disconnect was there.
Yeah.
And once again, just lessons. So the J. Cole thing, it's just my starter to the day to remind you guys, and then also I share the pictures, moments of yesteryears. Yeah. On that to remind me, like, look how far we've come. Look what we've done. Look at the people I hung with. If you didn't remember this event. Remember this shirt. Look at this hairstyle. Sometimes it's me laughing at myself. But once again, in a non-traditional, what are we programmed? I can only post this on a Thursday.
Only be perfect, yeah.
I can only post this on a Thursday because it's Throwback Thursday and the algorithms.
Yeah.
Like, we literally follow these trends that we don't even know who started them, but we just go with. It's the shirt.
Hoping it works, yeah.
It's the shirt for me. When did we all start talking the same?
I ain't even gonna speak on the behalf of that, only for the simple fact that I use that phrase. So
no, but I'm including myself in it. But you feel what I'm saying? It's like there's not even a trend starter. We just see it and go with it. Yeah, yeah. So I'm just trying to do my best to just dictate my flow. Yeah. And keep the people who do support me, I don't like the word followers, just on track of what we're working on and what we're doing next. And it is celebratory, but at the same time, it's kind of like artists, a lot of times we feel like our old stuff is old. Mm-hmm. But if you get 2 new supporters on IG, they never saw what you did 2 years ago. So you have to. And
it'd be them that like the oldest work, and you'll be like, "Yo, I haven't even looked at this in a minute."
And you have to.
Thank you for doing that.
How do you memorize a Jay-Z song if you don't listen to it more than once? Yeah, yep. So we get caught up in this. I don't like this painting anymore. I don't like what I said. No. So rehashing, resharing, it's not really egotistical. It's that reminder. Yeah. And once again, obviously, if people have taken their moments in life and chose to tune in on whatever I'm posting, I thank you. Heard you. I appreciate you because you didn't have to. So I'm not assuming that you don't have value, and if I could connect you with something older, and if it resonates with you, then guess what? That old post is now new. Heard you. And it's the rebirth and it's the recycling, which isn't a bad thing as long as you don't stay in a vortex of not moving. Facts. So I am very calculated in how I post, when I post, what I'm trying to do. And I thank you for asking that, but it's self-explanatory. No such thing as a life that's better than yours, and that's facts. Because we're constantly looking to the left and looking to the right and measuring ourselves against a rubric that wasn't created for us, and we're also not respecting those people's process of what they did to get there. Yeah. By acting like we should be there already. You feel me? It's a process.
So before I even have you get out of here, I just got like 2 more questions for you.
Yeah, no doubt, we here.
And the next one is, I have to know, because I genuinely, through and through, watch this show, when I tell you like anally, no.
I already know what you're gonna ask.
I watch this show, I'm talking about, I watch Aang and I watch Korra anally. I'm talking about from episode 1 all the way to the last season of the last episode. Through and through. I'm talking about, this is a show I watch legit every single year, every single day. Without, like, I even go to sleep to this shit every time. So I have to know, as a true fan of the Avatar, what inspired you to get the tattoo of the arrows?
Why not? Everything it stands for.
Facts.
The journey of self, the reflection on past selves, the spiritual aspect, the challenging yourself to figure out your purpose after running away from it and denying yourself because you knew what you were supposed to do, not wanting the burden of it, understanding that you do have this path and running away from it and trying to convince people you're not who you are. Remember I just told you that? I want to get half a second, I don't want to do Chip Dog.
Yeah.
And then the realigning in your purpose and then understanding that when you channel your energy and you channel inwardly, you are powerful to defeat things. And then also, you went to all your past selves and asked for advice on how to defeat the bad guy, and some people told you to kill him, and you got everybody's response, and then you still, I won't blow it, you still chose your own path that was true to yourself.
Talk about it.
You literally,
perfect ending.
You remove the evil instead of killing the flesh.
Without compromising yourself. Crazy.
Like, how can, like, that show is so spiritual, and in a way it's funny because it also challenged my foundation of how I was raised, because no one talked about the spiritual world. You weren't supposed to go there. Even though, like, you read a story about Jesus sitting in the wilderness talking to Satan. So so this man you're supposed to be like, Christ-like, delved and talked and dealt with that, but you as a follower are not supposed to do it. But guess what? It's acknowledged that it exists. So what's gonna happen when it hits you? You're gonna get tortured because you weren't prepared on how to deal with it. So even watching it as an adult, I at first I was like, because I had this foundation. You know what I'm saying? But then just really accepting other ways of thinking and understanding what this world's really about, that resonated with me. The meditation, that I don't eat meat, I don't drink, I don't smoke. That's where I'm at now. I've smoked, I've ate meat, I drank. Sometimes I ate meat while smoking and drinking and driving. So it's like just evolving from your past selves and what he stood for. And I do feel like I'm the 4-1 avatar. And my message and my mission and what I choose to do and what my path is, I do feel like I'm always reflecting and not regretting. I used to regret, now I reflect. But only to be only to elevate higher. And then the fact that he revisited his old selves and remixed it and made it his own,
crazy.
That's the ultimate growth. And so yes, when it came time to get tasks, and the funny thing is when I sat there and Googled this, I couldn't find a Google image with a human with these on.
I believe it.
And so then that made it even more.
It's usually like just like Halloween costume like images you'll find.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but we couldn't find on Google another human that did this. So that was kind of even more symbolic. And then that's just channeling the energy. And like I was gonna color it in. I was gonna do so much.
I contemplated, but I'm not brave enough to put it on my hand. I'm not brave enough to do that.
And I wouldn't put it on my head. That's too bonding. But yeah, so for everyone who knows, and a lot of people know it but they're scared to ask me. I met one dude even went as far as saying like, is that for the avatar? I was like, yeah. He goes, yo, I was gonna say, why you got them stupid ass arrows? But then I thought, and but he was like, but then I thought about it. I was like, that's so the stupid ass arrows became dope once he saw the meaning.
Once he realized,
I was like, bro, you just thought I was a directional? Go that way. But
basically.
But no, like so I rocked with it, and so it's a little bit of what it stands for, and it's a little bit about that's just me, and it's a little bit about why not. It's a little bit about obviously if I was meant to do it because it was done.
Heard you.
But it's channeling energy. And I do feel that I know that my aura sometimes introduces me before I introduce myself. And that's once again humbly, but that's just years of coming to know who I am.
Facts.
And there's nothing wrong with accepting who you are.
Over time, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
And fun fact, that's actually where cosmic comes from, is the cosmic energy reference they always reference in the show. Okay. That's where Cosmic Productions comes from.
Facts.
So like every time you see those scenes where like Aang's literally walking down like that little like glossy like different colored like like fluorescent like walkway, and then he's walking into like himself holding the ball. That cosmic energy portion, that's where cosmic comes from. But
and even the mastery of different freaking elements. How he had to go and travel and be with the people. Because we're taught that you have to go to the church, but he brought the church to the people.
Facts.
He didn't say come to me. He went and learned, sat with the people, learned the customs, learned their politics, learned how they talked, and then delivered it back to them. A lot of people are so separatist, and it's me, and I'm not even going to come to you. How can you tell the people what they need to hear if you don't know how they receive information?
Facts.
You feel me?
Facts.
What are we talking about?
Absolutely nothing. Shit. But tell the people where they can find you and before you tell them where they can find you, tell them what is to come next for Chip Dug, especially in this era of after COVID, still in the mixture of COVID, but as it's calming down and finally letting loose a little bit more. What should Rhode Island, let alone in general, this motherland, be blessed with from Chip Dug?
I'm in a film that Hot in Her Eyes dropping.
I've been peeping the random behind the scenes. I've seen little
this
bits
is our
pieces,
city.
I'm waiting.
So Hot in Her Eyes, another one of my brothers that I grew up with.
Yep.
That's
my guy. Yeah.
We've been friends for over 20 years.
Heard you.
We actually, it's funny that I'm in this movie because we were in theater class together our freshman year at URI.
Wow.
And for our audition and for his theater audition, I was Craig and he was Smokey for the first time Craig got high. And then for my audition for the play that we were in, I was Tupac and he was Q. Wow. He was on my ex in that scene for Juice. So this is that well-rounded, and now here he is directing movies that I'm starring as the mayor in that movie. It's a dope plot. It's well written. It's well shot. That process makes me want to act more. I'm also going to start, dropping more visual content.
Heard you.
Telling my why, get the YouTube popping, get the website popping, more merch popping, shows will be starting. I just have to figure out if I want to do a November show or not.
Heard you.
I could do a show by the end of the year. I just don't know how to.
I was thinking the same thing.
So that's the thing about it.
Or the rules and regulations.
Rules, regulations, fair.
Yeah.
And so I told myself I wasn't gonna do another show until 2022. But the opportunity presented itself, so I don't know if this is what test this is. Yeah. So I'm gonna sit with it.
Be like that as a creator. You be trying to take a break and then something comes to you and you're like, you know what? I wasn't even looking, but you know what? You're talking to me nice.
Exactly. So I do have some opportunities to reconnect with FET. Yeah. But I will also be doing shows at the Sanctuary Social Club. So I'll be starting some of my smaller imprints and figuring out if I want to do In Stars Align and just growing. And my son's about to be a senior, just being a father, raising this summer I'm sponsoring a team, so my son's putting together for what we got next quarterly, and me and Corey Brown have a collaboration for what we got next. So it's just more leveling up, more connections, more partnerships, but more on a business level where the paperwork's filled out, things are signed, and we all see our bank accounts get fat.
The absolute professional and right way to do it with your brother's facts.
The mixtape's been dropping. It's time to drop the album.
And tell the people where they can find you at.
I'm very active. Chip_DOUG on IG. Chip.Dug on Snap. Facebook Chip Tillman. Facebook's more of family, friends, hustle, everything a little bit. IG's brand strictly. Snapchat is behind the scenes of how I move.
Heard you.
So even with that, who wants to see the same picture on 3 different formats?
You'd be surprised.
You know what? You gotta just let people know what they're gonna receive and what they're gonna receive. Sometimes you gotta bring people to where you want them to see. So yeah, and then just spreading what I do out of state. I have a formula with the merch. I have a formula. There's so many people out there that I just want to dance and connect with. Going to Puerto Rico in May. Just trying to spread the gospel of dopeness and what we do.
Heard you.
Feel me? Because any stage I get, any door I open, is for all of us. And I believe in all of the people I rock with. If tomorrow I got told I had an opportunity to direct a half-an-hour show for Drake, I'm not gonna switch up. That budget's gonna go to the people who've been with me. Because I know we're dope enough right now. I have dropped the For Rhode Island description. We're just dope, period.
Respect.
And I know that Trav could deliver that energy. He's ready. I know Brooke Simon's ready. I know Mary Gibson's ready. I know Wanye's ready. I know Nano's ready to dance. This is pretty much everybody's growing and even better than 2 years ago.
Fact.
So I'm not caught up in the celebrity. Once again, I know that the celebrities are creatives with purpose too. And they want to spread their art with the world. And I kind of have keys to Providence, so rock with me. Feel me?